Hi everyone, let's talk about Perdition's Mouth Abyssal Rift. And again, this is on Kickstarter right now, and it's kind of an emergency playthrough situation because it's only on Kickstarter for a couple more days. So if you are interested in it at all, then the campaign link will be in the description and you can go and check out what's new because there's a revised edition. This is first edition stuff. Not that much has changed. The rules are going to be improved and there's going to be a new character and stuff, but go and check out the campaign page to see all of that stuff. So what do I think of the game? So since this is an emergency playthrough and time has been of the essence, I haven't played it as much as I would like. Well, that's true of all games. I would like to have played them more. But yeah, I've only played this 3 times now, and I've only played the first 2 scenarios just to be able to be ready for when the Kickstarter was still live. But I really enjoy this. I do always like the idea of dungeon crawls and have gone into quite a few, especially Descent. I've played a few times, and anything that ends up being an Ameritrash or whatever you want to call it, Amerithrash, dice chucking extravaganza, they don't do anything for me at all. I really like the idea, maybe harking back to when I played video games a lot. I really like those epic dungeon crawls, but they never really do much for me. And so this, along with Gloomhaven in a completely different way, went for its diceless dungeon crawl thing. This does it in a fantastic way as well. Having the rondelles for hero actions and enemy actions is just fantastic, and really the way it simply kind of lays out, you do have to do a bit of calculation and keep some stuff in your mind for I've got this many action points and I've spent this many to use on the rondelle, and then I've spent this card, so there can be a little bit of upkeep going on in that, but it's just a really nice system and provides a lot of thought of I need to go here, but then well, I'll go in this order, so then I can block this space on the rondelle off so you can save an action point. Yeah, but I need to go first so I can get there, and I can open this door for you first, or I need to go first so I can get out of the way because we're blocking each other. It's really nice system, and the cards that let you they mainly give you action points, but some can, as you saw in the playthrough, some can give you really powerful actions like the fireball thing, you're not given a lot of cards. That's kind of in something like Gloomhaven, you've got fewer cards, but they're all on display, and it's a big puzzle of what do I use when. This, it's a deck and you're shuffling it again, but you are kind of you're precious about them in a different way because you don't get given them like in standard games where you are given a deck of ability cards. You usually get to draw a certain amount or draw up to a certain amount. In this, it's you have to have made a conscious choice to have gone to a space or to have played a certain card that lets you draw another one, or maybe rested so you can get a load of cards back. You aren't given them in this, so using a lot to try and boost an action can be great, but can really hold you back in the future if you can't draw the cards back. It's no good running into the thick of it and doing a great attack that does a damage but doesn't quite finish everyone off, and then next turn I need to rest now. Well, good luck, because you're going to take a lot of damage, and that can be really hard to come back from in this, because not only do, as you saw in the playthrough, as you take damage, your stats will be reduced, you'll get fewer action points, your defense will maybe be lowered, so it will be easier for you to take damage in the future. But there are also these wound cards that go into your hero deck, and when they're in your hand, they are minus points, so you kind of want to clear them from your hand because you've got a hand limit, so you kind of want them out of the way, and then maybe when I've got some excess action points, well, I can use this wound card to get rid of it, but it's going to stay in your action deck and really get in your way, and they are hard to get rid of. Your HP and stuff will reset for the next game, but those wound cards stay there and can be really hard to get rid of. The campaign as well, I didn't really show that much of. It comes with a little pad for you to save, how many wounds people have got and what is going on with them. You keep the decks as they are, as I said, for the stuff that gets added to them. And it's a really nice system of, there are the 6 characters. You can play up to 6 with this, and the idea is that you're all there. Your whole party is there, no matter how many players you are or how many characters you are playing as. Your whole party is there, and maybe in a 2-player game, the other 4 characters went a different way. Every scenario, I think it's 8 total. Things to get to the end of the labyrinth and fight the big boss. There are 3, I think, different options for a lot of these scenarios that depend on the scenarios that you went from earlier. You know, some will have 2 different exits that will lead to different scenarios, but they will give you a lot of options. So the idea is that, so in that first scenario, we decided to go in through the side entrance. Maybe the other 4 went through the main entrance, and that's where they were in this scenario. And in between each one, we, you know, the story-wise, we meet up and then can swap around. So the people that will end up with all of these wounds and getting really, really beaten down, you know, you might end up not being able to take them anymore. They might die, and then it's completely off the table altogether. But it's good that you can kind of switch between them, because you will get to experience more of the characters, and you are not completely out of the campaign just because one of your characters has been, you know, really, really hurt along the way. So yeah, it's this is called First Impression, so I shouldn't have to justify it as much. But yeah, I've only played it a few times, but I am really, really, you know, excited to play more. I don't know when that's going to be. That's kind of the downside, because, you know, all of the Essen games, as well as everything else that's going on, so many campaign games at once. But yeah, I really, really want to delve into this more and, you know, be good enough to take on some of these harder challenges, because the scenarios have harder modes as well. So stuff there's not really things I didn't like. I think it's absolutely worth mentioning the art and the theme of it, because it's, I don't want to say that the art is perfectly in place to the theme, but it's got this kind of grim, it says it's a dark fantasy game, and that's absolutely true. It's very dark, and, you know, torture is a big part of the game. There are miniatures of, you know, people getting tortured, and the victim cards, some of them can, well, all of them have quite grim art in different ways, and, you know, it wouldn't be a problem. It's not something that really, you know, attracted me to the game, but it's not something that puts me off. But I think it is worth mentioning, because I can absolutely imagine people that will be really, really put off by that. But, you know, you can look through the playthrough, and it's all over the campaign page as well, so you can see whether it's something for you. I just thought it was something worth mentioning. But yeah, as a mainly, well, almost 100% Euro player, I really, really like the opportunity. You know, I've gone on about Gloomhaven for a million videos, but I really like the opportunity to play those experiences while still having a good Euro-y, thinky, crunchy time. And between the card play and the rondels in this, between, you know, the rondels for both how you work and how the enemies work, which can be unpredictable. You know, it's that thing of, it's still got randomness and unpredictability, but you've also kind of got some information. So when this is a hard game as well, I haven't mentioned this, as the game goes on further and further, it's you know, I can only theorize past the second scenario, but it wants to punish you and really put you through the ringer. But when things went wrong in the second scenario that I tried, when things went really, really wrong, I can kind of think to myself, well, yeah, I shouldn't have done this, I should have been prepared for this. There are, you know, like in some really good Euro games, you can kind of track back and go, well, that was clearly a terrible idea. When I was given these options, I should have done this. It isn't just that, oh, the dice didn't work for me this game, which, you know, not criticising things like that. People like what they like. But, yeah, I don't like that in games. I like to be able to say, well, if I'd done this, this, and this, I probably had a much better chance of winning. And you can really do that in this because of the way that the heroes and the enemies act. But anyway, I will stop going on about this now. Remember, it's on Kickstarter for a couple more days. If any of that interests you, go and check out the campaign page. But thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.